Hello, welcome to Woodline Tracking. Today we're going to do a video on freedom and how do you keep it? How do you keep your freedom here in the United States? It is going down fast, especially if you don't keep it before you die or Christ comes back. But freedom, how do you keep it? You know, Donald Trump is not going to come and protect your freedom. The government is not going to come and protect your freedom. I'm asking you probably on this video to keep an open mind, and I'm not judging you. You can only judge you. But I think that there's three major legs of keeping your freedom here in the United States, of how we're constructed and how it works in the past. The fourth leg would be being a true Christian. Second one would be understanding the Republic and the Constitution and truly believe it and stand for it. And then the third would be to have a true home God that protects the people and freedom. All three of these legs has been corrupted by the prince of lightness, the devil. And he corrupts the government, corrupts men. And right now, we're living in Babylon. We live in a very corrupt society. If we had all three of these legs, we wouldn't be having the problems we're having now. On all three of these legs, I would say less than 10% of Americans actually follow it, do it, and understand it. And that's the reason why we get into the problems we're having now, is because we do not have a greater amount of Americans that truly are Americans, that live by the Constitution, live by God, and is able to protect themselves and their family. So let's get into it. The first one, the Christian, the church, is failed, 100%. Again, if we had more than 10% of people that truly believe in Christ and have faith, we wouldn't have the results we have now. And we're living in Babylon. It is where we're at. Judge it for yourself. Again, I'm asking you to judge it for yourself. You know, what did Christ say the greatest commandment was? Love God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself once you believe. We don't see that. We don't see that at all. You know, what is the fourth commandment of the 10 Commandments? Thou shalt have no gods before God. What has the devil done? He's come in and made you a God, made your items a God, made this a God, made your situation a God, made all this other stuff but the God. And everybody here is so arrogant that it's almost like we're too smart to learn anything. But what does the Bible say? Wisdom, the beginning of wisdom comes from fearing God. And wisdom comes from God. So we really need to work on our relationship with God and trust and believe and chase after Him. And so love. All this we're not doing real well as a church. Just a couple of examples. Everybody talks about anxiety. Everybody has hyper anxiety and you can't deal with this, can't deal with that. All the other problems, PSD and all these other issues that everybody's talking about. All that's from the devil, man. All that's from the devil. Everybody's going to have problems, but what are you supposed to do? You turn to God. You pray to God. When I have issues like that, I just stop praying to God, and it's amazing how it all works out. Like Romans 8. Everything works for God's good if you're a believer in God. Now again, I'm paraphrasing this, but it's the truth. You know, if you start having issues with all this, you need to pray. If you're having major anxiety, you need to pray more. Simply put, and build a relationship with God. Because that's the key to all of this. The next thing is, we don't bother to let God lead us on what He wants us to do. We think we know better, and we go off these paths and screw it all up. Because we don't bother to humble ourselves to God and to love our neighbor as ourselves. So we really need to work on all that as a godly society is the only way we're to get our freedom, to keep our freedom. The Constitution and the Republic. I mean, most people talk about democracy. We're a democracy. No, we're not. We're a republic. And it's amazing when people don't know what we are and what the Constitution says, we have a real problem. You know, for everybody that's took an oath to the Constitution, myself included, do you follow that? You know, that's a covenant that you made. God's going to judge you on that. You know, and it is key to do that. All the American citizens that hasn't taken an oath. What gives you the right to take away someone's First, Second Amendment? Why should you have rights then? But I can hear it now. But what if you don't understand? This is different. The Constitution is not, you cannot legislate it out. You cannot make excuses for it. You can't make laws to take it away. You have to amend the Constitution for everything spelled out in it. That, you know, what good's having a base laws if all you do is sidestep it? It was meant to keep the government under control. You have to understand that. And if we allow them to take it and sidestep it, or somebody else to take away your rights, what good does it do? It means nothing. It's just like one of the biggest things is safety. Everything's for safety. Remember the mask and the COVID? Oh, it's for safety. The safety directors, you need to do this, you need to do that. All it is controlling to make their money. That's all it is. It's programming you. You should be smart enough to be able to keep yourself safe. And if not, you'll pay the consequences. And again, if you're walking with God, God will take care of you. And if something was to happen, He'll use it to build you up. Because again, everything happens for the greater good. And if you're following and walking with God. Now, if you're following anything but God, that's a different story. So know the Constitution. Live by it. Because again, here, we do not swear an oath to the king, the president. We swear an oath to the Constitution. Next, the home guard. This is a touchy subject. Let me move down my notes here. But I can honestly say that no matter, police, military, militia, 2AA, all these have greatly been corrupted and have too low standards. Honestly, that's the truth. Because money's being made off a lot of these. Buy this, do that. This will make you better. You need this tactical light. Well, no, you just need good training and do the training and know your role if you are a home guards member or a police officer or whatever you are, or a prepared citizen to protect yourself and your family. This one, the home guard, probably only 10% of the people will fall into this. The other 90% needs to basically know how to protect themselves, like with a pistol, and know the laws, and be good with it, be responsible, and train for a regular basis. And then they need to support the local home guard and the police on all this, because they're the ones that are protecting them from the evil and bad hombres. And that's basically what a home guard would follow. A paramilitary, militia, light infantry, guerrilla style warfare. I spoke about it many, that's my whole background is and all that. And I try to push that hard because that's what you have to do. The problem is the standard in the 2A community or the militia community, the police community, let's just stick it to them, is so low. I mean, look at a Potter for Ohio. That's a low shooting class. Look at the CCW permit we used to have to get in Ohio. That was very low. You know, you have to push yourself to be the best, to go to higher standards. Because if we keep on going to the lower standards, we'll be able to do nothing. And it is not, It just won't work out well. Again, if you're not training on a weekly, not and probably a daily basis, how are you supposed to be good at what you're doing? You know, if all you do is go buy golf clubs and you don't ever go to the green to play golf, how would you ever become good at it? A lot of it also is, a lot of people do not even understand, like with a white light, the different situations when you use it and how you should use it. They just want to lop it all into one because they took an 8-hour class or 4-hour class, or they saw a video on how to use it. You know, you have to understand the different situations or when you use it and how to use it and be trained in that. Another thing is people want to argue about, well, you should use the V formation, not the Y formation. Well, I use the Y formation because my background was tracking, and that's a common formation. But if you can make the V formation work, go for it. But most of the time, they don't even been trained well on it. They just go off of what they've been told or had a little bit of training on it. Again, it's a lot of it can be universal, but you need to own it. The problem we have is people do not have a good 4th gen or home guard training program. That's why I am almost done with this handbook on becoming a 4th gen knight, and I'm trying to promote that as a training program for who's interested and who wants to be knighted, because it will give you the skills in 4th gen warfare as what we're talking about. Because you got to remember, nobody's coming to save you when the lights go off. It'll be up to your community. And if there's nobody there to do it, who's going to save you? We'll end it on this. You have to remember there is a major campaign, a lot of money, a lot of evil people pushing against all 3 of these to pollute it, to corrupt it, and not to you to understand what it is or what you should be doing. Or to say the what if, or you don't understand, or this situation is different. So you have to understand all 3 legs of this stool. You preppers out there, this is a warning to you. You're not different from all this. There is a big campaign just to take your money and to keep you unprepared. You might have all the goods and everything you might need, but if you've not been trained on the home guard 4th gen warfare, how would you ever protect all this? Okay, let's just say you're not one of the 10% that's going to do that. Are you supporting the local police or your home guard, or helping a community that you live in? So the ones that do have to do this, you can support them and do the other task of this that it takes to do all this? Are you active and learning more about all this? If not, all your stuff's going to be somebody else's stuff when five or six guys from that are illegal that came across the border that spent time in the Middle East and been properly trained in 4th gen warfare, paramilitary warfare, they come and clean your cloth. And you'd be signing your light around, what's going on, what's going on? And you'll be dead. And then all your stuff becomes their stuff. I know it's hard to say, but that's the truth. If you have to be able to know what you're going up against. Now, for all you watching this, because my channel has a very small footprint, you probably are on the same page. That's why you're watching this. But I urge you to push other people, because we need to grow the community in all this. And again, it don't have to be exactly step by step what I'm laying out here, but it has to be on the same path. We all need to come together underneath these 3 things and realize we are Americans and allow God to dictate to us what our roles should be. Remember, time may go on, but your life may not.